right, we are live. I'd like to welcome everyone to the show. I'm Tyra Clark, your host, and this is Tyra Talks Paranormal. Okay, guys. So, first of all, I want to welcome everyone to the show. Like I said, this time's going to be a little bit different, guys, because I'm actually streaming from home. I'm not at my team member's office. And she's out of town currently right now, so hopefully we don't have any interruptions. The dogs are sleeping right now. I've got a sign on the front door, so hopefully everything will be good. But yeah, all right. So okay, so the first thing I want to do is I'm going to do my shout outs, okay? And let me grab my phone. All right. Sister says the audio is good. So that's good. That makes my heart happy. All right. So first things first, my shout outs, okay? So the first shout out I'm going to give, it's actually going to be to a few different people. Okay, because my mom and my nana, they went to the nail salon here in Beebe, Arkansas, and they ran into somebody there. They actually both have Arkansas X-Files shirts from my team, and they were both sporting them this day. And so apparently they were bragging on me, so big shout out to my mom and my nana for that. Thank you very much. But you obviously impressed somebody else, because let me get to it. Okay. So my mom promised that I would give her a shout out, because this lady posted on my timeline, and I'm going to go ahead and read it, but it's Sandra and Michael Galt. Okay. And she said, I just met your mom at the nail place. Girl, she's so proud and telling everyone about your show. Way to go. Super excited. So big shout out to Sandra Galt, and also my mom and my nana. Okay. So there's that. And then also another shout out I'd like to do is for Jeremy McManus. Again, I know I spoke about him in the last episode, but guys, this weekend we have something very exciting coming up. So Jeremy McManus is from Darkness to Light Paranormal Investigations and Events. And so Jeremy will be hosting myself, Tyra Clark from Arkansas X-Files, as a guest investigator at the Old Park Hotel in Bollinger, Texas. And I hope that I said that right. So it will be Jeremy's first time hosting an event. So it's really special to him. And it's also, I am very honored because that he's going to be hosting my team, Arkansas X-Files, as his first paranormal team to be hosting. So thank you. Big shout out to Jeremy McManus for that. You guys, you can find Jeremy on Facebook at his page, Jeremy McManus, or also he has started a Facebook group from Darkness to Light Paranormal Investigations and Events. So we'll see how this weekend goes, but we're excited because we're actually going to be going live, and we're going to be going live. I'm going to be going live on my Arkansas X-Files page. So for the first time, really, you guys get to see me in action, okay? You get to see what I do as a paranormal investigator. And like I said, I'm very passionate about this, so I'm very excited for you guys to be able to experience this with me, okay? And if you guys have any suggestions or whatever when I'm live, you guys just let me know, and, maybe it's something I will try while I'm there. We will also be going live for a special charity event, okay? It's going to be the Winter Festival of the Unexplained. It's a organization called CALM, and what they do, it's for suicide awareness and prevention, okay? So this is something that's near and dear to me. As I told you guys before, I am a veteran. And so, I've known several people that this is touched home, real close to home. Okay. And, so we will be going live, and, there will be a link where you guys, if you would like to donate, the Calm, they actually, what they do, it's like a telephone, it's a place where you can call, and there's people there to talk to you and stuff like that. But also, because I'm a veteran, I will be posting the veteran suicide prevention number as well. So, and if any time any of my veteran buddies, you guys, you're having a hard time and you want to talk to somebody, please call me. Get a hold of me, Tyra Clark on Facebook, and I'll definitely lead you in the right direction if I can't, help you with that. So, yeah, so there's that. All right. So my next thing, guys, I'm very excited to announce that I have my first guest, surprise guest. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to bring him on here and let you guys see who I got. But this is going to be Joshua Adilla from Animal Paranormal Live, or also known as The Animal. All right, let me unmute you. There we go.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you, Joshua?
Good, good. Just living the life.
Yeah, I hear that. A lot of crazy stuff going on right now, huh?
Yeah, just in this crazy world, just gotta stay busy.
I hear that. I hear that. For sure. Keep your mind busy, and try to stay positive. And I think, guys, I'm just gonna say that I have never personally met Joshua or the animal. I've never met him in real life, but ever since I started this journey, he's in my little group that I follow, guys. Okay, so he's very positive, inspirational person. He posted a video back in November, okay, and it really touched me. Like, I had tears come in my eyes because this guy, he's got a big heart. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let him tell you a little bit about what he's got going on right now.
Right now, I'm working on a documentary about people who are suffering in this world right now, financially, and just falling apart with this whole COVID. But I believe in when I do these interviews for this documentary, that it'll help the people that are going through a lot of hard things in life. So that's what pretty much the documentary is about.
Nice. Yeah, so yeah, that was kind of, I guess the post that you had posted was basically you telling your story about, how you had at one time you'd lost everything, and then,
Yeah.
how you came back from that, and that, and some of your personal beliefs, which I'm not, but I know that personally touched me because, guys, I have literally lost everything too in my life, and I've had to come back up from that. And I believe, absolutely believe, and I've told you guys this before, that we have to go through these times in our life to make us the people that we are today. Okay.
Yeah.
So we can be the highest version of ourselves, basically.
Well,
So,
especially sometimes when you're going through that, it's hard to cope back to that. It's hard to go back to that normal life you were at before because of how depressed you've been.
right.
So that's why I always say to people, just keep your head up, keep walking, and just do what you do.
I hear that. I hear that. And then, definitely, people, like I said, people go through these times, guys, and I know that it seems like I've been in those dark places. Okay, guys, I've been to combat. I've experienced things that really affected me and still affect me to this day. And I can let myself go into that dark place if I want to, but I know that it's, if I just got one more day, I can make it a better day, right?
Hmm.
So if we're gifted with another day that, we're blessed with, and we've got breath in our lungs, we just got to try to make the best of it, because it will
Yeah.
always get better. I promise you that. So, is there any other things that you got going on that you want to right now just want to share with us?
Right now, I've been doing a lot of diving and searching for shipwrecks. Pretty much to do some testing out there in the paranormal and kind of doing a little testing on new gadgets and stuff like that on shipwrecks and how we could get a good EVP and underwater paranormal.
That's cool. So different experiments with
Yeah.
that, with the underwater. I know that they did something on. It was, I want to say, Ghost Adventures, and it might have been at the. Um, the Tiger King Park or whatever. But they did some kind of experiment with tubes of water and EVP. Could it travel through that?
Yep.
Um, and yeah, and enhance that. So because it's a conductor,
Yep.
so that's very interesting. And I love when people, I'm very new to this field, guys, but I see a lot of different perspectives and a lot of different experiments, like just from watching on TV, and then being out there in the field, and you actually get to apply these, and it's just super cool. So I'm sure you feel the same about that.
Well, and people don't realize water is a good conductor for EVP.
Yeah.
We've done so many experiments where even inside, like with a fish tank running, and we have the recorder and we ask questions, we got some amazing evidence of EVPs just running water.
Yeah.
So if you could
That's
get that, you could definitely get something underwater.
I hear that. I'm excited to see what you guys have,
Yeah.
what you get from that for sure. Because, man, that you get, it's just like this field is just expanding in so many ways. And you have all these people that bring their different views and their different, thought processes into it. And what we can achieve with that is just, I can't even wait to see all the new things that are coming about in this field. So definitely excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so anyway, Joshua, I want to thank you, and I hope you're okay with me calling you Joshua.
Oh, I don't
I'll
care.
call
Josh
you
or
Animal if you
Animal.
want me to. I like to be on a more personal level with people. So for me, that's one of those things I like to call you by your name.
Yeah.
That's who you are. So, and I have nicknames. I think we talked about this a little bit. I have all kinds of nicknames that are throughout life. So, I mean, I understand that too. But anyway, I want to thank you for coming on my show, for being my first guest.
Thank you.
You are an amazing person, and I know that you are going to be so successful with whatever you got going on, paranormal or not, okay? And I'm very proud to say that, I'm a part of this with you. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for coming on the show.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
You have a good night, Joshua.
You too.
All right, bye-bye. All right, so yay, we had our special guest. That was cool. All right, guys, so I got my notes if I don't knock things down. Okay, so this episode, guys, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to go back to the last episode, and I told you guys excuse me, I had done a post, sent a post to the BB Life Facebook group, and because we had an incident here in BB, guys, okay? Okay, so this episode, and I was telling them, I was going to do an episode about this. So I'm going to get to the point. So basically, this first part of this is I'm going to talk about what happened in our little town, BB, Arkansas, 10 years ago this month, okay? So there was, basically, guys, we woke up, all right, the first of the year, 10 years ago, and there was thousands of blackbirds dead all over our town, okay? It was featured on the news, obviously, different newscasts all around the United States. It was also featured on Mysteries of the Unknown. And also, through some of my curiosity about extraterrestrials or aliens, I came upon a show called Unsealed Alien Files, okay? Which is basically the show about government files that have been released to the public, okay? In watching this show, I came upon an episode about our blackbird incident from BB. And they actually, which is crazy because they actually pronounce it Beebe, Arkansas instead of BB. But anyway, so basically they told a different account, okay, of what happened that night. Okay. So I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to go back 10 years ago. I'm going to tell you what I remember happening. And then I'm going to read to you what they told us happened and why it happened. And then I'm going to give you a little different perspective on it. And this, guys, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy, person here. I just want to talk about this because Because first of all, it was weird. Okay, it was weird. And there still are people that apparently want to know answers from this, and we didn't really get given a very good explanation of it, I don't think so. I'm going to share that with you. But like I said, we had woke up, and it was there was thousands of dead birds all over the town. And I think there was a little subdivision here in BB where a majority of them were located. And so let me get my phone. I'm going to read to you what the official report was of why the blackbirds died. Okay. So blackbird deaths. Smithsonian bird curator weighs in. Okay. So it says the official cause of death of the estimated 4,000 to 5,000 red-winged blackbirds found in the town of Beebe, Arkansas on New Year's Eve is blunt force trauma. According to the results of 3 independent laboratory tests that were reviewed and released by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission yesterday, severe weather, chemicals, and bacteria were all ruled out for causes of death. Okay. These tests were conducted by the Southeastern Cooperative Wildlife Disease Study, the Arkansas Livestock and Poultry Commission, and the U.S. Geological Survey's National Wildlife Health Center in Madison, Wisconsin. So the SCWDS reports concluded that in most instances, such traumatic injuries in wild birds are due to flying into stationary objects such as trees, houses, windows, power lines, etc. Okay? These findings came as no surprise to Gary Graves, a Smithsonian curator of birds, who predicted a similar conclusion earlier this month. Well, it's kind of what I expected, Graves said. There's nothing mysterious in it. What was interesting to Graves was the size of the bird's roost, which according to the report was estimated at 1.6 million birds. That's huge. So when you look at the number that was actually killed, that's hardly any, Graves said. About 4,000 to 5,000 that died in this incident, okay? But what caused the birds to fly the coop, okay? It appears the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission concluded that unusually loud noises reported shortly before the birds began to fall caused the birds to flush from large roosts. Additional New Year's Eve fireworks in the area may have forced the birds to fly at a lower altitude than normal. Blackbirds have poor night vision and typically do not fly at night. Okay, so I'm gonna elaborate a little bit. So basically what they're saying, guys, is these blackbirds, they fell and they died from impact, okay? And what they're saying is the red-winged blackbirds, they do not have good night vision, and something startled them, okay? And so basically they took off and they flew into each other, okay? And that's how they died, okay? That's crazy. And because number one, I just want to make a point, why I thought this was weird. Because, first of all, these blackbirds, these red-winged blackbirds, this is their route. They come through BB every year, guys. Every year. Thousands of them. And I could seriously, I'll go out during the day and I'll take a picture and I'll show you guys. This is their time to come through, okay? And, they told us basically what they told the citizens was that, like I said, the fireworks had startled them and they must have, been disoriented because they couldn't see very well. They flew into each other and they killed themselves, which I find this to be a little odd because, like I said, this is a thing that they do every year. They come through here every year and we have fireworks every year, guys. Every year we have fireworks, okay? So, according to Graves, the Smithsonian curator, we may never know what spooked them conclusively. There's a proximate cause and an ultimate cause. The proximate cause was death by blunt force trauma, but what spooked the birds? That hasn't been absolutely determined, he says. Graves said, it never will be, is what he says. You can't go back in time and recreate the event, and no one was there recording this event when it happened. So that's why I had posted in the, I put that post at the BB Life group to see if anybody had any kind of firsthand accounts. They could tell a different story. Okay? Because I'm not gonna sit here and read all of this other stuff, right? So basically that's the version that they told us, okay? And then, like I said, guys, this was many years later. I was, because I've always been curious about paranormal, and then, like, aliens. I watch ancient aliens and all different kinds of shows. Well, I come upon that one show, Unsealed Alien Files. And what I wanted to do was I was going to try to go and find that episode where they talk about these BB blackbirds. And I was going to try to show this for you guys. But I swear to you, you guys can Google this. You can look it up on YouTube. Unsealed Alien Files. I believe it was season 3, episode 7. But it's about the aircrafts. But I'm going to tell you what they said in the Unsealed Alien Files. They said on the night that happened, that there's an Air Force base about 30 minutes from here. It's the Jacksonville Air Force Base, okay? And they said that the Jacksonville Air Force Base reported a strange anomaly in the sky that night. So it makes you think, what really was up there that night. And I think there's another article that maybe the next year that it happened, but I don't personally remember that. But I do know the one from 10 years ago, in 2011, guys. So, they never concluded exactly what was the cause of impact, okay? Or what actually startled them. So it's just an interesting thing to think about, and like I said, if you guys get an opportunity to look into that a little bit more, just let me know your opinions on this. You can, guys, if you're not a part of my, Arkansas X-Files Facebook page, please go there, and send me a like, and I will definitely invite you to the Arkansas X-Files group, and then we can have deeper discussions about this, okay? Because the next thing that I'm actually going to talk to you guys about is from my group, Arkansas X-Files group. There was a post from one of my members, okay? Let me get my phone. And this actually goes back to the last episode too, guys, because if you watch my last episode, I, for the first time, publicly spoke about my sleep paralysis events that occurred in my life. I told y'all we were going to maybe have some interruption. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on, I'm going to mute this. Y'all stick with me. I won't leave you. Okay, sorry about that. See, I told you guys I might have interruptions. I'm sorry. All right, so there was somebody, one of my members, who posted something that I spoke about in my last episode, that I opened up about was my personal experiences with sleep paralysis, which are very terrifying. And this person, they posted in the group, okay, and I'm telling you, it's their story. But the way he put it, the way he described it is so detailed, guys, that it feels like you're right there with him. And I feel like I shared with you guys, but I didn't go into all these little details like he did. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then we're going to talk about this a little bit more, guys, because apparently sleep paralysis has affected a lot of people. And, and that's another thing, I said, if you guys want to talk about things like that, head on over to Arkansas X-Files, and I'll add you on to the group, and I'll invite you to the group, and then, we can talk about some more stuff in depth. But, all right. Well, hold on, guys. I'm sorry. I've got to go into it. I had it up there, but it's pretty long, but I'm telling you, it's super good. Almost there. Hold on one second. Okay. All right. We're almost there. Here it is. I'm not going to say his name, because I asked him if it'd be okay if I shared this story that he put. He said that was fine, but I didn't ask him if about his name, so I'm not going to say his name at this time. So you know who this is if you're watching. He said, I've posted this before. I thought I would trot it out again. It's still the scariest story I know, but it's true. Okay? He says, starting off, it was cold. All right? It was late night and cold. Truly cold nights are very rare in the deep south. And so when one finally visits like an almost forgotten relative from the north, everyone tends to take notice. Water is left dripping. Pets are brought in. Another log is added to the fire before going to bed. In our case, we made sure the heat pump was turned to auxiliary. The space heater was on in the baby's room and added a blanket to the bed. It was one of those nights where the moonlight somehow makes the night even darker, and it was quiet. So quiet that the silence almost had a sound to it, something like a high-pitched hum, more felt than heard, or maybe like the noise that last gasp of a hard-struck bell might take. Maybe that's what woke me up, but I don't think so. To this day, I don't think it was any sound that woke me up. You know that discerning moment when you go from sound sleep to wide awake in literally the blink of an eye? Almost always, my first rational thought is, what woke me up? Usually, there isn't a good answer, and with any luck, I will roll back over and go back to sleep. That wasn't the case this night. The first thing I noticed was the bedroom door. It was open. We never left it open when we were asleep. With the baby monitor, there wasn't any need. And some long ago forgotten strategy involving fire safety, I suppose, lay at the heart of the practice. Nevertheless, the door was open and it should have been closed. Okay? More disturbing, it was the fact that I couldn't move. At least I didn't think I could move. I hadn't really tried yet, and something way back in the recesses of my mind begged me not to. I had played this game 1,000 times, waking up and stay so still that I began to wonder if I really can't move, until finally, in an almost spastic uphill, the sheets go flying everywhere as I exult in some simple of joy of movement. This didn't happen. I couldn't move. Well, I almost couldn't move. My eyes seemed to be working just fine. Just on the periphery of my vision, I could make out the curly auburn locks of my sleeping wife. To my right, nothing at all. In front of me, the open door and the red light on the thermostat. I always hated to see that light on. It meant that the heat pump was drawing more juice than the electric bill was steadily climbing higher. Believe it or not, our high electric bill did run through my mind before I shuffled it to a lesser priority in favor my current state of paralysis. And then there was a sound, a shuffling noise, as if a paper bag were being dragged back and forth across the floor. But that's not quite right. That's too random. This sound had intent. The paper bag wasn't just shuffling across the floor. The paper bag was on a mission. It was at work. Okay? It had places to go and things to do. How does a paper bag make that sound? I really couldn't tell you. There's a lot about this night that I can't really explain. Why was that door open anyways? The movement caught my eyes. The red light on the thermostat, visible a heartbeat ago in the hallway, seemed to be blinking on and off in no regular pattern that I could discern. It was blinking. It was being blocked. What my sleep befuddled brain had at first taken as blinking was actually the result of the light being periodically blocked by someone moving back and forth in front of it. That's when a mild state of late night anxiety, the kind you get when you're caught in a nightmare, and finally managed to wake up, turned to terror. Hold on, guys. We were not alone. Someone was busily walking back and forth down the short hall between our bedroom and the baby's room. Someone was in the house. My wife was sound asleep. I couldn't move, and now my vocal cords weren't working either. Did I mention I was trying to scream? Yeah, I should have known this by this stage that wouldn't work. But after all, Maybe 3 seconds had passed between my walking and my present state of panic, stricken terror. Okay? How long did this go on? How do you measure an eternity? Seconds? Hours? Lifetimes? Long enough for me to realize that whoever was in the hallway wasn't alone. I don't know how this perception came to me, but it just seemed that from the movement and the sound, there were many of them. And they weren't really people, were they? I mean, if it was people, wouldn't they be coming in to check on the adults? Also, how could mere mortals have managed to freeze me so thoroughly in place? No, there was something else at work here, and my mind dared not to venture forth an idea as to what. I don't think I really fell back to sleep. I mean, how could I have? I've never been one to swoon in on distress either, but time passed and sunlight came back in to the world, and I found myself awake once more. I attempted to twitch a finger. It rewarded me with a satisfying twitch. I turned my head, and my wife was right where she should be, beside me, just lying there with the most peculiar expression on her face. I turned to her and said, I had the scariest nightmare last night. I was here in bed and she cut me off with one word, don't. That's as far as I got. In fact, that's as far as I ever got then or ever when I tried to discuss that night with her. I don't suppose I'll ever really know what happened. The baby was fine. The house was fine. And aside from the lingering feeling of unease and a topic we could never discuss, we were fine. What I do know is this. We weren't alone that night. I know we weren't, and my wife knows we weren't. And he never asked the baby. Okay. All right, so that was his story. And this is a true story, okay? And I believe him because I told you guys, I've had my own personal experiences. What I think it is, I told you guys, is more of like a spiritual thing because I'm a Christian. I feel like it's, it's Satan. He tries to come in and he tries to install fear in people, okay? But there's all different perspectives on this sleep paralysis thing, guys. Yeah, I told you about the sleep hag is supposedly a demon who comes in the middle of the night and sits on your chest and causes the sleep paralysis, okay? Which obviously relates to this, Satan trying to install fear in you. So it would make sense that he would send some of his minions to try to do that. There's also other different perspectives on this. And one of the other ones I want to share with you, since we were talking about the blackbirds, right? And that could be potentially extraterrestrial, maybe something that was there that night. But when I was looking for that video, guys, to show you, I couldn't find it. But what I did find in Unsealed Alien Files was an episode about sleep paralysis and how some people believe that sleep paralysis actually it's aliens that come in at night and it's part of an alien abduction thing. And they paralyze you so you can't move, and then people have lost time and all kinds of weird things, guys. I love how this guy, he goes into so much detail. I mean, it's scary, guys, and I hate that he ever had to experience that. I hate that anybody would ever have to experience sleep paralysis, but I only touched the surface of the things that actually happen, but like the way he described, you can't move and you can't speak. But your eyes are open. It's like your eyes are open, okay? And you can move your eyes a little bit around, but you can't move your head. So you're just stuck there. So whatever you can see in front of you. And he described the lights and the movement. I've actually had like shadow figures that are in my peripheral moving at this time, when I'm having sleep paralysis. So a lot of people report feeling like there's somebody in there with them or actually seeing, hearing noises. So what is this? What's really happening when we have sleep paralysis? Okay. So I told you guys the medical version of what they told me, right? The different stages of sleep, and what can happen to you in these different stages of sleep. So just, it's something up for debate, guys. Once again, if you're watching this and you guys want to share your story and you want me to share it on Tyra Talks Paranormal and we can talk about this a little more in depth, I will definitely do that. You come and find me on Arkansas X-Files, okay? And we'll make this happen. Hello, intrinsic paranormal. Sorry, I hope I said that right. Welcome to the show. All right. So, okay, so guys, so that's what I have on that, right? This episode might not be, as long as my typical ones because like I said, there's my pit bull in the background. Y'all see her? She's crazy. She thinks she's a little chihuahua. Yeah, she thinks she's a chihuahua. Anyway, but I'm gonna go ahead and do my shout outs because I'm customizing my show and trying to make it my own. Okay. I said my shout outs. I mean my words of wisdom at the end. Okay. So these are people that have influenced me. There's going to be a familiar name that's going to come up on, actually a couple familiar names that are going to come up on this. Words of wisdom. Let me get to it, guys. I'm sorry. Hold on. So I tried to make it easy access for me. Okay. All right. I'll just go ahead and get the first one out of the way, guys. You already know it's Natalie Jones. All right. This is something that she posted 5 days ago. So I'm going to go ahead and read this, okay? Because they're good. It's good words of wisdom. She says, "You are beautiful and exactly where you're meant to be. Focus from within. There you will find joy, not the external chaos and lower vibrations sent from others. By raising your frequency, you're helping them. For adversary thrives on attacking through the hearts of men in this dimension. Only give unconditional love and love yourself so that you may help others do the same. We are one. Love, Nat." And then another thing was on there from Natalie Jones. "The waves will come crashing in. Face each one with courage and faith. Turn your back on the enemy, turn your back on the energy which is not for the highest good. Learn to adapt and overcome, and it will overcome you. It will come to you." Sorry, guys. I'll have to reread this one. "You are greatness. Love yourself and stand strong." All right. Natalie Jones, Awaken the Higher Self, Bringing Darkness to Light. If you guys haven't purchased that book, you should definitely check into it. It's very inspirational to me. That's why I mention Natalie a lot. It's really helped me out. And talking about these vibrations and stuff. Because ever since I started applying these techniques that I learned in this book, okay, it's like a lot of good things have been coming back to me. And that's what she's saying. So there's the positive vibes are these higher vibrations, okay? So if you're thinking, you're speaking, you're not talking down about people, but you're trying to stay as positive, you're putting those higher vibrations out there. So all that comes back to you. All that, angry, you want to badmouth people, you're not happy, you're depressed. When you sit there, even if you're not feeling good, say you go out to the store or something, somebody asks you, "How are you doing?" Even if you're having a bad day, I would suggest not to, go into, "Oh, well, my back hurts and this and that." You know what? I'm alive. I'm alive. And you just go with those positive vibrations because we can actually help this universe, guys, and each other by putting these positive vibes out there. And another words of wisdom is coming from, again, George Choplin. This guy is so positive, guys. He's a really good guy. I can't wait to meet him in person. And but he says, he posted, I want you to have the best day ever. Be you. Remember, I told you guys, he told me just to be myself. It is less stress to try to be someone you're not. Then, okay. So, and then also, George's, one of the things that he says is, if you love your life is going to love you right back. And once again, that's putting those positive vibrations out there, that positive energy. And I absolutely do believe that is true. So, really good words of wisdom. I think I might have one more to sneak in there. And this is my team member, one of my team members. All right. Brooke Moore. She's awesome, guys. And you know what? Soon enough, you guys are going to be able to meet my whole team, I hope. We've had the holiday, getting through the holidays, the first of the year. For everybody, I know it was crazy. Let's see. Let me find her post, guys. That's not it. Okay. Here we go. All right. So, Brooke Moore, big shout out. Words of wisdom. She said, I've been working through this exact thing for months, and this is one of my biggest takeaways, realizations from the last year. Sometimes it breaks your heart into pieces, but it's so true. Don't make yourself small just to keep others comfortable. The people meant for you will rise up to meet you. Others will fall away. But that's okay. You are more than enough for the right people, and the universe needs all of your radiant energy on full blast. Right on, Brooke. And it says, sweet girl, it wasn't that you weren't enough. It's your energy. It asks others to rise up, and not everyone is willing to go where they would grow. Butterflies rising. Beautiful. So look at these words of wisdom, guys. You guys have any suggestions for words of wisdom, or you guys want to post anything and you know that's kind of similar to this kind of stuff? Let me know, and I'll give you a shout out on the words of wisdom too. Okay. So basically, what do we take from this? Look, surround yourself with positive people, guys. Okay. Sometimes you have to, and I had to learn this, guys. You know, for a long time, I was always about making everybody around me happy. Okay. And I didn't really think about what was good for myself. Okay. And sometimes those people that are around you can bring you down, and so if they're doing that on a daily, guys, you might want to reconsider, who you have around you, because I guarantee you, if you surround yourself with positive people and people that support you and love you and, can go through those hard times with you, then your world is going to be so much different. I promise you. Okay. But yeah, so there's that. And ending on I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my show, guys. But before I end, I always want to end on a positive note. Okay. So guys, please be kind to each other, right? Do random acts of kindness. All right. I'll give you a little example. I thought it was cool. I was driving in Cabot the other day, and there were some teenagers on the corner, and they had signs, honk if you love Jesus. Okay. And, I was excited because I was going to the bank, but I only had actually like a couple bucks in gas. So I went ahead, honked before, but when I was coming back, I was going to go right there by them. Okay. And so I was excited because I was going to, give them that couple bucks that I had. That was all I had, the cash in my name, but I was going to give it to them. And I stopped and I said, you guys want any, can I give you this money? And they said, oh, we're fine. We're not accepting money. So they were literally just out there, just trying to put that positivity out there. So I just went crazy on that horn, guys. I started honking that horn. I said, I love me some Jesus. Okay. So that was super cool. So things like that, they just brightened my whole day when they did that, and they weren't necessarily expecting anything back from it. That's what I'm talking about. Random acts of kindness. Just smile. Just walk around and smile. And I guarantee you people will smile back at you. You can change somebody's day just by something that you say or something that you do. Okay. So, all right. So I love you guys. Thank you for everyone who has watched tonight. And thank you for everyone who will watch afterwards. You guys stay safe. I love you. And I'll see you next time on Tyra Talks Paranormal. Bye, guys.